What happens when the power goes out and two hearts finally switch on? In this sensual, romance story set in a quiet Nairobi café, Tara and Keshi are two coworkers hiding behind politeness, routine, and unspoken tension. A sudden blackout traps them inside after hours, leaving them with nothing but candlelight, music, secrets, and the kind of closeness that changes everything. They didn't mean to touch each other that night. They didn't mean to stand that close. But when the lights died, there was no longer anything left to hide. As the cafe fell into silence, so did their defenses. Put your headphones on, turn the lights down, and come along for the ride. Part 1. A loud matatu tore down a Nairobi street past a small 24-hour bistro. Inside the small cafe, a cozy warmth held. It was 10 p.m. and 4 staff members moved through the late evening shift with muscle memory. Smiling, taking orders, dish placement, soft jazz playing in the background. Tara was the brightest thing in the room. Not because she loud. No, she was magnetic. She bent toward customers like they mattered more than the coffee. Laughed at little inside jokes she had with them. Even drew hearts in foam that she didn't have to. She learned the regulars' names too quickly. Learned their coffee orders. Down to their sweetener preferences. Service felt like safety to her. Probably because when they smiled back, she didn't have to examine herself too closely. Didn't have to explain to herself the emptiness she carried home. Meanwhile, across the room, Keshi moved like she was built from rules. Every step exact. Every cloth folded tight. Apron tied twice. And then checked again. She never leaned. Never slouched. Her movements were always clean, controlled, like she never wasted effort. Tara kept her distance around Keshi, not because she wanted to, but because getting close felt like stepping into judgment. Tara couldn't shake the feeling that Keshi saw right through her softness. Her foam hearts. Her fake cheer. She couldn't help but notice smaller details about Keshi. Like the way she retied and double-checked her apron when she thought no one was watching. The way her voice dipped after midnight. Against her will, she imagined what Keshi thought of her. That she must be very judgmental of Tara. Must find her messy and frivolous. Tara was certain Keshi saw her as all charm and no discipline. Keshi's gaze measured her in mistakes she hadn't made. Like someone too soft for night shifts. So Tara turned her laughter into armor. Too bright. Tonight, when one of the regulars laughed, Tara's voice rose to meet it. She didn't look at Keshi when she handed over trays. She avoided contact with her whatsoever. But across the room, Keshi watched her anyway. She found Tara hollow. All charm. No wait. A girl who disappeared when things stopped being fun. It was easier to believe that. Safer. She noticed. The double tap of Tara's fingers on the counter when she got nervous. The way she leaned in closer when customers got inquisitive. The rapt intent in her eyes. The way her smile changed after midnight. Like it wasn't superficial customer service anymore. The clock ticked toward 1 a.m. Then, everything went dark. The espresso machine died mid-breath. The cafe's soft lights blinked once, twice, then vanished. Silence dropped like a held breath. Keshi moved first. "We'll need the emergency lamp," she said, already reaching for it. Her hands didn't shake. Her voice didn't rise. It never did. A soft click. And a weak amber glow spread across the counter. Outside, the city shifted, restless, murmuring. Inside, the world narrowed. Suddenly, every sound felt too close. Every breath felt shared. In the kitchen, someone cursed at the power company. In the dining area, a chair scraped too loudly. They wiped tables in half-light, reassured the remaining customers with soft voices and practiced apologies. A choreography of competence. Soon, customers filtered out slowly. A grateful nod. A tired smile. A door closing softly. By the second hour, only 4 people remained. Keshi checked her phone. No signal. She exhaled slowly. Then quietly turned to the 2 other members of staff. "You two can also go," she said. "Tara and I can manage the rest of the shift. I doubt the power will be back anytime soon anyway." The duo was elated and obeyed without a second thought. They grabbed their bags, donned their jackets. muttered soft goodbyes. Their footsteps faded, the front door shutting like a held thought. The silence after that felt different. Not working silence, but real silence. Now for a quick break.
Okay, real talk. Nothing kills a romantic moment faster than whisper-level audio coming from a tired phone speaker. You're trying to set the mood, and your playlist is out here sounding like it's trapped inside a cereal box. That's why the TIMU S11 is basically a love story essential. This little beauty fixes every audio problem. It has 30 watts of warm immersive sound that wraps around you like a long hug. Bass you can feel without rattling your teeth. Waterproof plus dustproof, because real life gets messy, and this speaker can actually handle it. Portable and cute enough to carry to the beach, the balcony, or your secret date spot. Stereo pairing if you want that dramatic cinematic energy for your Sapphic slow burn evenings. And listen, it's not just me hyping it. It has more than 100 5-star reviews. People are basically writing love letters to this speaker. Plus, it's on a limited time deal right now, which means you get high-quality, romance-ready sound without the high price. If you love cozy nights, soft lighting, quiet confessions, playlists that actually sound like something, then honestly, this speaker might be your new favorite companion. Tap the link below to grab your TIMU S11 while it's discounted, and give your romance moments the soundtrack they deserve.
Back to the story. They quietly stacked the chairs on top of tables, flipped the sign on the door to indicate that they had closed. Although they had worked side by side for 6 months, they had never really interacted. Never really looked at each other. But now there was nowhere else to look. The gas stove flickered faintly, giving just enough light to breathe by. And for the first time all night, they sat, not behind the counter, not across it, but on the same side. Tara noticed it immediately. She kept her hands wrapped around her own wrists. There was no system left. No script. Only heat, breath, and the quiet fact of proximity. Keshi sat straight as always, but her shoulders weren't as tight. Tara's thought came quietly, uninvited. I don't know who she is without the counter between us. The silence stretched, and somewhere inside that pause, something new began to breathe. Part 2. The emergency lamp flickered. Outside, a distant car's tires hissed through wet tarmac. And then, Keshi began humming. She didn't mean to. It slipped from her chest the way air does when you forget you're being watched. Low, soft, unpolished. Tara felt it before she processed it. That song, she said quietly. Keshi stopped. You know it? She asked. My mum used to play it when she was tired, Tara responded. Not when she was happy. Just when she was trying to hold everything together. Silence. That revelation did something. It slipped past Keshi's defenses before she could rebuild them. She didn't tease. Didn't deflect. She only said in a soft voice. My mother used to hum it when business was slow. They didn't look at each other. Didn't need to. Keshi unlocked her phone. It only had 12% of battery left. She hesitated, then scrolled to her playlist and pressed play. Another Kenyan old-school melody filled the cafe, warm, worn around the edges. Like a memory that still knew where to sit in your chest. They didn't talk over it. Just leaned into it. Quietly. When the song faded, Tara tilted her head. You're not as cold as you pretend, she said. It wasn't flirtation. It wasn't performance. It was observation. What else you hiding in there, Ms. Night Manager? Tara asked, shoving Keshi sideways with her shoulder. Keshi huffed out a laugh. It surprised them both. She scrolled. R&B this time. And later on, a haunting neo-soul song. Its guitar sounded like a heartfelt confession someone almost made. The song had profound lyrics. People think loud means shallow, Tara gently mused. But sometimes, it's just where the cracks learn to breathe. Keshi didn't answer immediately. Because she felt it. And that scared her. She changed the song instead. They both leaned in closer to the phone once again. Their voices softening without permission. Like they didn't want to break the quiet thing now humming between them. Neither of them said it out loud, but they both felt it, something old and lonely loosening inside their chests. When the speaker fell silent between songs, they started talking about movies. Not the clever ones. Not the impressive ones. The ones you watched when loneliness felt loud. I rewatch the same ones, Tara said. On nights when sleep feels like something I have to earn. Keshi nodded. She didn't ask which ones. She already understood what kind of movies those were. Tear yourself open ones? Keshi said. Tara smiled. Those. Keshi hesitated. I like movies that challenge society. The way we think, how we live. Like The Matrix, or more like Rafiki? Tara asked, voice soft, eyes curious. The words sat between them like a held breath. Keshi felt them land somewhere quiet inside her. No jokes. No teasing. Just a curious awareness. Both. Keshi replied. Rafiki? That one made me feel things I didn't have words for, she continued, staring into the distance for a second. Then admitted. I watched it alone. With the volume low. That detail, small, fragile, softened Keshi in Tara's eyes more than any smile ever could. She'd always thought Keshi was made of rules. They shared a chuckle. Tara nodded once. Same. And in that moment, they understood each other without elaborate sentences. Much later, between one fading song and the next, Tara said it. Like a joke. Like a confession trying to pass unnoticed. I thought you hated me, you know. Keshi blinked. You talk too much for someone who thinks she's hated, she said dryly. Tara snorted. You're so quiet, Tara said. I thought you were, always judging me. Keshi tilted her head. You're so loud, she returned. I thought you had nothing underneath it all. The words landed. Then they laughed. Not to erase them. Not to undo them. Just because they were true. And a little ridiculous. They didn't apologize. They didn't soothe the edges. They simply let the new honesty exist. A slow song came on. One with a bass line that moved through your skin instead of your ears. Keshi stood and held out her hand towards Tara. Her shoulders rolled. She swayed once, almost unconsciously. Tara smiled. She didn't comment. She took the hand offered and stood up as well. Two silhouettes in soft yellow light. Two shadows learning how to breathe. Tara's petite form against Keshi's taller one. They didn't dance like people trying to be seen. They moved like people forgetting to hide. A step closer. A laugh that slipped into breathlessness. A shoulder leaning in. A hand brushing a wrist. And then, staying. No one pulled away. No one named it. They let the music carry them. The space between them got smaller. And smaller. And soon, there wasn't much space left at all. Part 3. The music softened some more. Like it had learned the rhythm of their breathing. Their movement slowed without discussion. Without decision. Just instinct. Keshi's hand was still wrapped loosely around Tara's wrist. Not tight. Not claiming. Just existing. Tara could feel Keshi's breath now. Soft. Warm. Close enough to disturb the quiet. This was the part where most people would step back. Where they pretend not to feel it. But they didn't. Neither of them moved away. They stopped swaying and just stood in between movement and stillness. The café stopped feeling like a workplace. It felt like a small, careful world built for two people. A world balanced on breath. Tara let out a small humorless laugh. A nervous sound tinged with relief. She didn't pull her hands away from Keshi's shoulders. Keshi's fingers tightened only slightly. Not to stop her. Not to pull her closer. Just to say, I'm here too. The music continued with its low hum. Bass moving through bones. The silence grew loud. Their foreheads now hovering a breath apart. Without thinking, Tara focused on Keshi's breathing. Eyes shifting to Keshi's molten ones. Keshi dipped her head downwards, closer still. Towards Tara. Like she was asking without words. Tara didn't answer with words. She leaned in. Not by accident. Not by gravity. But by choice. Their lips met. Melted into each other. Soft. Just warmth. Just breath. A quiet shock of contact. For one suspended second. Nothing else existed. No cafe. No street. No shift. Only this. A symphony of lips. Each set softly grazing the other. Small moans of acceptance. Of an unspoken hunger. Sifting through the quiet. Then, the lights exploded back. Suddenly and without ceremony. The espresso machine roared back to life. The fridge kicked in with a rattling shudder. The radio spat static. Light flooded the room. Reality slammed back into place. They pulled apart. Not fast. Not ashamed. Just gently. Like you would when you don't want to break what you had just touched. Their hands dropped, brushing, holding. This time, deliberate. No one spoke about it. Because naming it would shrink it. Would turn it into something that needed defending. They noticed the first pale hint of morning crept through the glass. Keshi reached for Tara's hoodie and helped her into it, her manner almost protective. Tara smiled bashfully. Keshi chuckled back, pulling the petite woman into a slow, gentle hug. And this time, neither of them pretended they were just workmates. Outside, Nairobi continued to wake. Mateus coughing to life. Footsteps. Voices. They didn't talk about the kiss. They didn't have to. It lived in the space between their hands. Between their breaths. Between the way they no longer stood apart. And, from that night on, nothing about them went back to what it had been.
Hi ladies. Thanks for sticking around till the end. I'm just one African storyteller, sharing love stories the world told us to hide. Please subscribe and help keep these voices alive, one story at a time.